There was some cool and trends and stuff in 1996, I would say.
Like what?
Tommy Hilfiger.
Tommy Hilfiger was cool to you?
I love Tommy Hilfiger.
I remember when it came out, but looking back at it, it was like fake polo to me.
Like a more casual polo.
Yeah, because they was using like the American colors, like red, white, and blue, and all that.
I like the way it popped. I don't know. It was cool for that time to me. Like, I would wear my Tommy Hilfiger. I had stripes. I mean, I had button-ups, T-shirts, all the above during that time period. But I'd wear some really baggy shorts and a red and white Tommy Hilfiger shirt with a little logo stripe.
Well, to me, if you wore all that, then that's proof that it wasn't cool back then. Okay. Yeah.
That took me a second to get.
But nah, Tommy was like a fake Ralph Lauren to me. You know, but
I mean, I think
But back then I didn't think about it that way. That's only looking back at it. Back then it was like, man, you can't afford Tommy? Like, yeah.
Yo, it was fresh. It was fly. I wore my Jordans or Fila's and the outfit mentioned earlier. But
Fila's ain't popping though.
Fila's are so dope.
Fila's are not popping.
Yo, Fila's are, bro, they're very close.
You know who put
to
Fila's
Tommy
on the map?
Hilfiger? Grant Hill.
Not only Grant Hill, there's another person that we mentioned today, Tupac.
Yeah, because he wore a pair of Grant Hills in the booklet. I remember seeing that and being like, I knew I loved these shoes for a reason. That's lame as hell, right? But I can vividly, I remember like being like, that's validation why I love these damn shoes.
And the thing about it is that made it dope is that Fila wasn't making nothing for hip hop. Like, they wasn't making it for hip hop. It just happened that Tupac made it so everybody else was like, okay.
That sounds like Post Malone.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it does.
It's culture vulture, but you approve it in this situation.
No.
Interesting.
I actually don't approve it because
they're European.
Fila wasn't giving no money to. I mean, they gave Grant Hill an endorsement, but they made a lot of money off black people, just like most of these
and
companies.
Never tossed now.
Yeah.
Well, music contracts in general, advertising wasn't the same. Like, I was even thinking about the other day, why wasn't there ever any Michael Jackson shoes or clothing line? And like, they could be very high end, like Prince and Louis Vuitton collabing, or like,
right,
that shit would have been stupid.
But Prince and Louis Vuitton, that means you would have some pants with the butt cut out. Who wants that? That's the stuff you be wearing.
Everybody would have wanted
wearing
it
that stuff now.
Yeah, right. Oh my god!
Talking about my booty code. It's just you got a hole in your pants, bruh.
But no, they could make some commercially viable. Look, if Kanye can design the shit, and niggas go out of their way to make Kanye's weird ass shoes fit
Kanye
their
was
fashion sense.
Remember, he was making the homeless joints. The shirts and stuff. Y'all was all wearing that. Y'all was putting holes in y'all shirts.
Hell,
on
he still does stuff like that. Yeah. But even his new shoes are literally like Croc-ish.
I seen those. Yeah.
I mean, but I've been seeing people wearing them, and I kind of like them.
Yeah, you that type of dude.
No, I've never owned a pair of Yeezys. I'm saying that right now on record. I wish. So, Mama, if you're watching.
Mama? A grown man talking about Mama if you're watching.
Hey, I don't got Yeezy bread. I mean, the color and the tone of that time was very like red, white, and blue and like bouncy, you know, like in its own way. It was a fun period. It's like, oh, we got a Democrat in that office. Racism is dead.
And black people are going to jail by millions.
But also niggas is making more money than ever.
I don't know if black people was getting all that money, but people were making money back then.
I mean,
was getting bread.
Well, what I'm saying is, it was easier than ever.
Yeah.
Even with Master P and stuff like that, like breaking that ground, and Jay-Z, literally hip hop entrepreneur on a higher scale with Death Row, and Diddy, like.
Yeah.
There was a very optimistic time period for getting money, which kind of is like, yo, we'll disregard the bad for now because we're getting it like we never have. Which has been a problem in black societies for a minute.
Yeah.
Settling for less and just being like, yo, we're getting it better than we ever have now.
And the people from that time are getting bread now.
Long
bread.
Long
money. Whether it's Nas, Jay-Z, Diddy, they getting big bread.
Yeah.
So they figured it out.
It was literally an entrepreneur. Like, I'm glad. Okay, they weren't too appeased, but they knew what they were doing. They were planting that seed and moving with the tide.
Yeah, it took a while for us to catch on, but
for sure. And I mean. And even, like, if we think about it, like, all the samples, they were all bright and glossy and whatever else. Like,
Diddy was sampling,
I'm coming up.
Yeah.
And had Biggie rap. I would love to hear the conversation. Yeah. Because especially homosexuality in hip-hop was
a real thing then, right?
No.
No, I mean, them
was a problem.
Yeah, they were outright saying things, yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Mario Kart. 64.
64, I remember
We're definitely going to play Mario Kart and see who wins.
It's been a long
same
time,
for
bro.
me.
No, it ain't. You still play video games.
Yeah, right.
I don't play video games, but Mario Kart, I remember.
I mean, we can play it. We can play it.
We used to battle on Mario
for the show
Kart.
As a side section. They want to see us compete.
Do they?
Yeah, because they know I'm going to win.
Is that what they know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart was fly.
Was the rainbow level your favorite?
You trying to be funny?
No, it was everybody. It was the best level. It's crazy how much what a rainbow stands for has changed in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean that's their logo now.
Yeah, but it was like, is that fair for them to steal the rainbow from everybody else?
That's what Kanye said. It was like, what's cooler than the rainbow? Like,
hey, good.
Yeah, hey.
And that level was dope because of the rainbow.
Anybody could have jacked the rainbow, you know. They decided to do it first. I can't be mad at them.
Well, the combination of, on that level, on that game, of space in the rainbow was what made it dope. You're out of space on the rainbow.
Right.
And you don't really know where you're going.
I don't really dig all the levels. Like, I can be on the regular joint, on the regular level. It don't matter. Like, I'm just trying to get them wins in.
You just want to get them W's.
Yeah, I just want the wins, man. Because if you don't win, that's the thing. Like, this was prior to wearing headsets where you play against people who live in a whole nother country and all that. What they do now.
They'll have bragging rights over you forever.
Yeah.
And they'll be face to face.
When you in the same room and you playing, if you lose, you gotta get a control to somebody else, man. Mm-hmm. That ain't fun. Like, you play now, if you lose, you'll just get on another game with another person and be playing him virtually
get
wherever
that
you
ass
are.
Whooped again.
Yeah, but back then, boy, you lost. You might not get. It might be people in line waiting. You might not get back on the stick for about 3 or 4.
And then the nigga who you're competing against, who knows how long they had this sticks.
Exactly.
And you probably don't want to go against
right. them be one of the ones that be practicing every day on the video game playing.
I could never be that guy. I could never be that guy.
Computer and finding out the little hacks and all
they've
that.
monetized it. Now, so I can't knock you for having that be your passion. And
I wonder how many of them is getting bread though. Real bread? Yeah. I mean, there's some getting real bread, but I'm talking about it's a lot of people who be gaming.
It's just the same as rapping.
Bread? Well, rapping is horrible too. It's a rapper.
Exactly. That's
every
what I'm
family
saying.
got at least 2 rappers. There's 2 rappers in each family. Like it's way too many rappers.
2 rappers in each, and there's 2 men. You got little jokes.
I wasn't even talking about you, but it's the truth now. You know, you gotta eat that.
But Pokemon.
See, I knew nothing about.
Well, okay.
This was Pokemon. This was the inception of Pokemon, not the video game, right? This was Pokemon, period, or is the video game? I think
they all came close around each other, but the card game is really like. I mean, I fucked with the card game more than I fucked with any Pokemon video game that ever came out.
I don't even know what Pokemon is. Like,
I mean, I collected. My stepdad owned a like trendy toy store, and so anything trendy, whether I knew it or not, Furbies, blah blah blah. Whether I liked it, bro, whether I liked it or not, Pokemon cards, Jordans, collectibles, whatever you could collect was given to me. But I actually liked Beanie Babies, bro. I had a plethora. I used to give them to girls on their birthday because I had such a dope collection.
Wow, this nigga, he a sucker. Giving girls.
Simps, I'm doing this for you, yo.
This nigga talking about giving them Beanie Babies. Man, he the guy, man.
I gave him 20 of them.
If you see your girl with a Beanie Baby, he didn't send her a Beanie
I gave it to him.
She blocked her number. She changed her number after he didn't gave the Beanie Baby.
It's happened.
Yeah,
it's happened.
I can imagine.
Oh my God. I just got pissed off thinking about it.
Sending Beanie Babies in the mail like the Unabomber.
It never...
Wow, she look good. I'm about to send her a Beanie Baby in the mail. Like that's...
Yo. The news in 96, it was an election year. These election years be so damn wild.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy election. It was Bob Dole versus Bill Clinton and Al Gore.
Bill Clinton finessed his way into office again.
He's a finesser.
He a real finesser.
But don't hate the player. Hate the game that they learned how to finesse. Yeah. I mean, the tide has turned on him since, as it does on all Democrats, because Democrats, see, Republicans will always win. Okay. Democrats have always, well, Republicans used to be Democrats, but the other side of the right has always put way too much pressure on them, making all these fucking promises when they have no power or control in all actuality, and the shit ain't gonna change. And they'll never get the grounding because of their stances to do what the Republican Party can do. And then the Republican Party will be like, they didn't do shit.
This guy right here is negative. I can't say it'll never change, but it hasn't changed for a long time. I will say Clinton was he was a finesser. He was smooth with it. Like
he played both sides.
He was kissing the babies and all that and hanging out after that. After he won his second term, you know, he was hanging out with the Bushes after that. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, you friends with the Bushes? This whole time we thought y'all was beefing, you know what I mean? So,
but that's always been a thing in politics. Yeah. Even the or the like, oh, good fight. I said all this terrible things about you. It's like, I didn't really mean it. The fuck?
Yeah.
I don't, what? Why? Where does that even come? Like, politics are so screwed with the muckraking. But also, he finessed by not talking as much shit about Bush during that. He used two tactics in that stand out to me. He was smoothly able to play saxophone on late night TV and incarcerate more black people than anybody else. Right. So both sides.
I didn't. The sax thing didn't do nothing for me, but I guess maybe some people were influenced by that.
I mean, they highlight him because of the glasses. It was like an iconic image of our president that we never got to see, or in modern time. I mean, like, Reagan was an actor, so they kind of act like it's more foreign than what it actually is, even in this day and age with Trump and shit. But
right, they all been,
because entertainment and politics are so deeply integrated. Even the attack on Democratic entertainers right now is politics.
Right.
And what I meant was not just that one moment, but he played the cool president. Oh, I would have inhaled. There's a lot of cool moments.
Oh, he never inhaled.
Yeah, to sit right next with the super predator statements.
Yeah, that put all my people in jail.
We can't be that mad at them. Black people feel that same way about their own people. When you assume, because I am traditionally a musician, that I'm going to be on time, and the negative effects of marijuana, you do the same thing. You make me feel like a super predator.
I make you feel like a super. That's maybe you're a super predator, bro. I don't know.
You make me feel like I'm just out here on the streets. Hi, it's me, Brandon. I'm for the streets.
You for the streets? Nah, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna get into the back and forth about black people doing it to their own people and all that. I'll just say.
Oh, clever.
I
want y'all viewers, don't let he try to conveniently sneak that past so you wouldn't think about it later on. But he's trying to dust his shoulder off, y'all.
I ain't dusting nothing off. I just know prison industrial system.
That's true.
Was impacted by Bill Clinton in a major way. And they blame like the Black Caucus and other people who were involved in those decisions that were being made. But I can guarantee you there wasn't nobody poor or broke helping make those decisions. So if there were black people involved, none of them were broke.
Yeah, it is tough to make laws against people that you never sit down and talk to. Exactly. Or try to understand.
You don't hang in their neighborhood. You're culturally unaware of what they're going through. Even if you're both black, culturally you're unaware of what they go through on a daily basis. So
even for as distant as Bill was, because he sure couldn't have named a rapper.
Oh, nah.
You know,
Bill kind of slick.
He could
though.
now.
Bill might have pulled one out on you though. Like
he'd have found a way to hell, have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
And then there would have just so happened to be a rapper named that.
Yeah,
that would have blown up and been put on the map by Bill.
Bill was a finesser. He might have found a way to get you on that one though. He would have pulled at least one out. He would have had one.
I'm just saying he didn't know about, like, he was still distant from the culture while the culture was supposed to be like, oh, this is a cool guy. He's distant as fuck, but he's a cool guy. That sucks that we have to pick so far distant candidates. And hopefully we get to do some episodes on throwback, because then we can really get into the reason why there's not so many black people in politics is because they stripped them of education and power for so long that we have to re-find our footing in politics and positions in power. It's gonna be way harder for us to be these things when
it's a club that they don't let everybody in.
Even there's a chance that you could be around a politician. If you're of the Caucasian persuasion. Yeah. I personally love and advocate for all my white viewers out there. So for y'all watching, I appreciate and respect and love you guys.
This nigga apologizing already. He ain't even said nothing. This is part of the black experience. You start apologizing for stuff you didn't even say that was wrong.
Yo, I watched how they did Nick Cannon, and they love Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Nick Cannon.
They let him get away with that turban for years.
Right. And that would have been looked at as cultural appropriation had it been done in a different way.
Oh, I thought it was completely distasteful, his turban wear. But I kept it to myself. That's the reason why
you wear it, I guess. Remember Andre 3000 was wearing a turban during ATA Land.
It was different, though. It felt more authentic.
Yeah, well, Andre was really wearing one of those your grandmother's church hats. That's really what his was. Like the ones they wear in church.
Yeah, and then because he had it wrapped around his... Yeah. And this is actually a great segue because this was also kind of an introduction to domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism. We got to put a special label on it.
Which is a cooler version of terrorism.
It's a more acceptable version. We won't say, well, it's cooler because they're clapping for Kyle's mother in current times right now at Republican conventions. They give understanding and depth to it, and they talk about their lives and where they went to school. The background isn't looked into as much with others unless they spent time in America learning and fooling Americans. Because then they get to have an agenda to backtrack on America, the boiling pot. Whoa.
So who was the
domestic terrorist?
Yeah.
The Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. And he was, guys, let me tell you about this man. He was a brilliant mathematician. He was a psycho who had, hopefully we can put a picture of him, had crazy hair, crazy beard. He started off as a teacher. And it's funny the way that they talk about these things. He's a teacher, a professor.
You notice with domestic terrorists, they always say good things about them. Like they're not gonna say right out the gate that he was they'll talk about his history like he shouldn't have ended up this way. Like something else made him do that. But
I didn't see that in anything about Teddy, but they did try to make him seem like...
No, he talked about how smart he was and stuff.
Yeah,
they never say that about anybody else who commits crimes.
I can't wait till we get to the year, but the black sniper dude, man, that was fucking nuts. And they definitely called him smart.
Yeah, he was in Montana. They caught him in Montana in 1996. Yeah, and he was the Unabomber. He was
somehow putting bombs in people's mailbox.
I guess so. I don't know the whole story about how he was sending bombs to people, but he definitely was sending it from Montana to whoever he wanted to send it to whoever he had a problem with. Mm-hmm.
And he got away with it for a long
right. And they do make mention of him in a film. The film is Good Will Hunting. When they're talking about the professor, I think they're in a bar at the time, and they're arguing about what they should do with Will, and they mention him in the film. So he becomes part of these people become like iconic
cultural
figures,
icons.
Yeah, they become.
Was that the start of it? Well, no, because we've revered serial killers ever since. ever.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and we don't even know that there was an actual. There's some from back in the day that don't even know if it was an actual serial killer.
Right.
It's just that's what they wanted to put there.
Yeah, we've always done that. I think that's not a part of black culture or white culture. It's a part of American culture. We always look up the criminals. We've always made criminals iconic. Mm-hmm. That's just a part of American
and heroes,
culture.
Both sides.
But yeah, that the Unabomber went on. What else went on in the news?
Handguns were potentially banned in the UK.
UK was the first one. Yeah.
That happened?
That happened. Like the police didn't.
Is it still like that?
Yes, it's still. The police don't carry handguns in the UK.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah. So handguns were banned, and that was after a shooting. That was after a shooting, a mass shooting, that they decided to ban handguns. And they haven't had. It doesn't seem like they have that many problems in the UK.
We'll have to look it up, but so that's interesting to me because they act like if they're less armed in America, that all hell chaos, is gonna break loose.
Exactly. But that looks to be unfound. I'm not a...
Well, and there's many countries that have lightened up.
Yeah.
How do you...
America has a huge gun culture. I just seen somewhere where it said something like 46% of all the guns owned is in America, in the world. 46% of all the guns owned in the world reside in America.
So we might have a chance standing up again. No. Whoa!
Yeah, it's just crazy. That's craziness.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, but at the same time, you got to think about how many guns the people funding or providing these guns have.
Oh, yeah.
If we have that many, so maybe we don't got a chance. Don't get too excited. In 1996, the fruits of modern America were birthed. But so Fox News, which started off unbiased.
We think. I don't know if they start off unbiased or not. I'm assuming they did, though. And then, of course, we got into the Fox's on the right side and CNN's on the left.
Mm-hmm. So we have no unbiased source of information, yeah.
Yeah, as far as Fox's, the inception of Fox News, and you know, when you start back then, you're starting to get into the 24-hour news, which didn't exist before. Yeah, so you're starting to really get into even.
Well, it was like the alternative to social media,
right?
Because I want to know up to the minute
what's going on.
Yeah.
There was no news.
I don't know how we would. Oh,
even ESPN wasn't 24 hours. I don't think back then.
Huh?
Not like
the way
giving you updates like by the minute. You know that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
You had to wait.
I mean, I couldn't imagine how people had to wait for magazines to come out and all that kind of shit. Like, literally, a situation like Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez would be a 2-year episode.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now you have it where if those things...
you can respond at the snap of a fucking finger.
And now you have it where magazines, I mean, it's hard for a magazine to survive because they can't get the news out fast enough. They can't get the story out fast enough. Mm-hmm. So in order for a magazine to really survive, they would have to have stories that's exclusive. And that's just hard to do now.
Digital formatting has been helpful. But no, like you're right though. Because it's not like, there's 4 major publications, but this is even why breaking news or breaking things came up earlier today because Trump's taxes got released.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that.
And the New York Times broke it. Well, the New York Times saw the tax form. But I was getting into this debate about, like, did a small news source share it first? and then it get like, how did they attain this information?
That's where magazines, I think, dropped the ball, though. Just think about it. Magazines, our only way to really get like entertainment news and stuff was through magazines. Like the news would talk about serious stuff, but like from an entertainment standpoint, a lot of times you would get a lot of the stories, especially with hip hop, you would get a lot from the magazines. This is how the magazines dropped the ball, though. When the internet started to really take off, they should have had the best websites. Because they already had
they
all
didn't at all.
They didn't embrace it at all. They tried to hold on to being a magazine, and they died. Mm-hmm. This is like a great example.
Well, radio too. Bro.
Radio the same way.
A perfect example.
It's a great example of businesses that can't adapt. Uh-huh. They die really fast. Magazines died. I don't even know why magazines still exist.
Just because there's a standard.
Just because they're in the dental office. When you go to the dentist, they're in there.
And the doctor, it's... I mean, shout out to magazines.
No shout out to magazines.
What?
Y'all didn't figure it out.
The Palm Pilot was invented.
Palm Pilot came out then, which is the precursor to... Palm Pilot is like the precursor to...
The iPhone.
iPhones. Yeah, the phones. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's kind of how they got their the idea
of doing a lot of different shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the pager is ultimately the predecessor to.
Yeah, but if you think about the Palm Pilot had the pen way before.
Yep. Even the pen fell off and came back in style. Yo, it's Brandon Daz Exotic, whatever you want to call it. Subscribe to our YouTube. Link below. Yo. Time flies. So, look, I'm the Black Allen Iverson, and
I thought the Black Allen Iverson was Allen Iverson.
Everybody wanna make waves. Everybody wanna be you. 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 Big dreams, everybody got big dreams. You the captain of your own life, so it's your fault if that ship sinks.